Greetings from Hisarya. After the holidays, I needed a little bit of holiday, of a rest, so I decided to take you with me in Hisarya, a small town in the central part of Bulgaria, and it is another town with mineral springs. Because of this, Hisarya is not just a spa resort, but also a balneological center, and the most important thing is that it is a renowned balneological center even from the Roman times. And that is probably one of the most interesting things about this town, its history. The rise of the town started in the 2nd century when Imperator Diocletianus decided to build a city here, a Roman city. The town itself was fortified, and you can find here many structures and buildings from the Roman times. Yes, this thing behind me is probably one of the symbols of Hisarya, but it's not from the Roman times. And starting from those columns through the alleys of this tiny park, one of the parks in the town, beautiful parks by the way, we arrive straight to the Roman time baths, which was built in the late 2nd, early 3rd century. But before reaching the baths, just next to them, you can see the place where once was a tiny Roman amphitheatre. You know, even in the Roman times, the town wasn't too big. And that's the main part of the Roman baths. They are opened for public visiting, so I'll take you to see them from inside. Yes, back then they were much larger, and now a big part of them is still undercovered. But anyway, you can see the different pools here, and the interesting thing is that even today the pipes from the Roman times are still in use. The old name of Hisarya was Diocletianopolis, named after the emperor. And the importance of the old Diocletianopolis was revealed by the fact that the emperor Septimius Severus came here in the beginning of the 3rd century. All these were, back then, different rooms used for, of course, different purposes next to the baths and the pools, and I just try to imagine what it was once when they had roofs over them. And this is another one of the fountains in Hisarya where you could fill your bottles with mineral water. That's what the people are doing here. But you know, the baths aren't the only Roman thing that you could see here in Hisarya. I'm heading now to another landmark from the Roman times, which is a tomb, but this one is a really big tomb, not like the ones you saw in Sapareva Banya. Yes, in Sapareva Banya, where I showed you also some tombs from Roman period. And unlike the other structures, as the baths, which were built in late 2nd, early 3rd century, this tomb was built in 4th century AD, which means it was built in late Roman times, as it was built outside the walls of the old town of Diocletianopolis. The interior is covered with frescoes and marble mosaics, and it's open for visitors, so I'll enter inside to try to show it to you. And that, in fact, is the true entrance of the tomb. It's so low that you have to crawl to be able to go through it. And I don't know if you can see those tiny roses, which are in fact wall paintings from more than 1600 years ago. And there are also some paintings which are so washed away with the time that you can't see basically any figure at all. And that's the entrance of the tomb from the inside. Even today, the tomb is at the end of the town, and on the other side of the tomb there is a field. And this is the wall. This is the southern gate of the old Roman town, which is known as the Camels because of those two horns on top of it. And those walls are still 11 meters of height, which is close to the original height. And with all those ancient remnants, I bet there is a museum, and here it is, right here. I'm sure that there will be some interesting artifacts to see. The museum is a small one, and you can't expect to see some tremendous pieces of antiquity. In the courtyard, there are many big jugs discovered in Hisarya and its vicinity, as many bigger and smaller clay pots, while in the hall of the museum you can find some interesting exhibits inside, as a layout of the tiny Roman Amphitheatre you already saw in the beginning, some marble sculptures as this lion's head, and a representation of the Imperator Diocletianus. Probably this one was part of an entire sculpture, as different marble stones with inscriptions on them and so on. You can see here also some findings from the Thracian times, much before the Roman period. And look at these cats playing all around in the courtyard. Well, there are many of them. Anyway, I made the tour of the museum in 20-30 minutes, and I am about to continue my stroll in Hisarya. And now I'm heading to one of the other parks of Hisarya, which is also beautiful. And from there, I would like to visit another part of the town because history is great, but it's also a modern town with spa resorts and hotels. If it happens for you to come here, I recommend you this restaurant, Touch Gastronomy, great one, with a great cafe. And after an afternoon coffee, I continue my walk in Hisarya. After the Roman period, in the medieval times, the town started little by little to decline, and in the Middle Ages there were no more than several houses surrounded by the Roman ruins. The people who continued to live here started to use the stones from the walls as a stone quarry. Fortunately enough, they didn't manage to destroy the entire walls, so that's why they stand still even today. Later, at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th, with the rediscovery of the mineral waters in the region, the town started to gain popularity again and became the today's spa resort. At the end of the day, I couldn't help but to return to the main gate of the old town, the Camels.